Welcome to Service Queue. This is a 10-minute introduction to learn how to navigate throughout the system and find where the functions are and enter the basic information for a setup. First, we're going to look at the first screen you see when you log in. You will see your email and login credentials at the top of the screen that tells you the administrative privileges you have. And you're going to see also the icons that leads you to the main function you will be using every day to access client information, engagements, calendars, logs, etc. Now we're going to look at the side menu, and the first item there is your admin menu items. And we're going to look at the settings. This is where you set up the information for the organization. In the settings menu, you will see that you can update your organization name, your email server and password, and the events where you want emails to go out to your clients. If you are using, if you are processing credit card charges, we support Authorize.net, and Authorize.net will give you a login API, login and transaction key where you can enter the information here for your process for your credit card charges to be processed. Next, we're going to go to the organizational structure. You can define your divisions, departments, or hiring locations. Then there is, you can see the taxes and fees. You can define up to 5 levels of taxes and fees. And they can be applied to each charge based on the service type or the product or even up to the service item. So you can structure them to be very specific to a certain item type or a certain item in the service list. Work locations allows you to create different work locations, different sites where you can provide your services. That could be locations where your service providers and employees are working with clients. This is the jobs screen. In this demo, I have added a few jobs. You can add jobs and update their information from this screen. You have to have a full list of all the jobs the employees and service providers have in the system, so you can assign them to the right job and they can be applied to the service item. I'm going to go now to the workforce or employee screen. This is where employees and service providers information are entered and updated. You can add new employees, update information on existing employees, add employee notes and attach them to their records and so on. Contact informations, even assignments can be completed from this screen. There is a lot of information and there is not enough time in this video to give that, so we're going to reserve that for another video. Now on to creating services. This is a very crucial part in the system. That's where you define your service types, service classes, and service items. And as you can see in the service type screen, we had 2 service types, and in the services screen you can see that physical therapy and speech therapy are both under type therapy, and the other type testing has only one category of equipment management. So this is a way to categorize and separate your services. You can certainly update and add new services on the screen. Service items is the billable items that you provide to your clients, and according to their definition, your client gets billed. Take the first one, for example. It's a therapy item that is defined to have a charge or chargeable based on the time, and a time unit has been defined as 10 minutes, and the charge is $39 for that unit. And if you can bring up the screen of editing here, you can see how this item was defined, and the job actually that can perform that item. That's a very important part. That concludes the overview for the services definitions. Next, we're going to go to the services themselves, where your employees and service providers can use them to serve the clients. The most important one for a service provider is a list of their clients and the engagements that they have with these clients. So if we click on the client screen under services, for me as a service provider, I see all the clients that I have engagements with and I have provided services for. So let's pick one, Jacob Manor, for example. This client has many services and engaged for individual and in group services with me and other service providers. So I can see all of his engagements in the organizations. I can add a new engagement, and I can modify existing engagements if it is, of course, individual to him. So in this case, I'm going to look at the engagement screen, and I see that most of his engagements are still active. Some of them are red with the red dots in the active column. That means that the engagement has expired or has been stopped for some reason, no longer active. I cannot charge against inactive engagements. I can only provide services under active engagements. Next, we're going to go to the client notes and service log, and that gives me a very detailed history of all the services and engagements and charges and so on that were given to that client. So I have a great history of that client's services. Scheduling is very detailed. It gives you a two view, one for the provider, which in this case me, or another provider. I can change that, as you can see I'm doing right now, and the client themselves. So I can see the schedule of that client. Third, or last, you can see the payments and charges. And in this case, I clicked on make a payment, and you can see that I have tried to add a payment to this client. I will now pretend that I have just completed a service to this client, and I'm going to log it into the system. So this service happened to be deep shoulder massage, and I'm going to click on the log service item in front of that engagement in the action column. And that takes me to the add service log. And as you can see, I am completing that information. Now, once I'm done, I verify all the information and then charge the client. And now that goes into the client records as a charge has been made for this service record and all the details that go along with that service record. A copy will be sent to by email to that client, and he will get the information that I just filled in. Now that charge goes into the client's account, and you can go to the payment button and process a payment if he provides you the payment on the spot. Otherwise, it goes and remains into his account. We are almost out of time, so I'm going to show quickly the final screens here. In the engagements screen, you will see all the engagements that you are part of with the clients or groups, and you can create a new group engagement from this screen and assign clients to the group. The next screen is the accounts list, and you can create new accounts and lump multiple clients under one account. For example, if it's a corporate account or a school account, etc. And now I'm going to show the receivables log. You can go through the receivables for the whole organization or for a particular client. In this case, I'm looking at Jacob Manor's engagements in the receivables, and I can see that a charge has been made just recently and has not been paid for, and that would show in his receivables. That concludes what I can fit in within 10 minutes, and thank you very much for listening. Bye-bye.